Welcome back to channel 511 WNYU. I'm Kevin St. John, and this week we're doing an exciting segment on the Stern School of Business, a place where they produce very forward-thinking leaders. And right now they've just started Launch 2011, and they've had a number of very impressive speakers. We here at channel 511 were very fortunate enough to have Neuro Rabini, Professor Rabini, Dr. Doom, with us today. Richard Lau is in the field with us, and he's interviewing Professor Rabini. Richard, what have you learned?
Thank you, Kevin. So here we have Professor Norio Rabini. How are you, Professor Rabini?
I'm good, Richard. Thank you.
Professor Rabini is a really distinguished professor in NYU STERN School of Business. He has been tremendously helpful to the American government in predicting the economic situation, and also he is also known as the Dr. Doom because he was able to predict the subprime crisis back in 2007, 2008. So, Professor Rabini, can you tell us and give us a brief description about how you feel about the economy and what kind of stage are we heading into?
Well, we're in a situation today in which corporations in America are making record profits. They have $2 trillion in cash, but we still have stubborn unemployment. The U.S. economy has just, whilst not in a recession, has been rescued by multiple stimulus packages, but we still haven't seen unemployment go down to the level pre-crisis. So the prognosis is that businesses have cash but are not able to spend it, so we have structural problems in the U.S. with jobs being shipped to China. So I think the chance of a double-dip recession in the U.S. is about 50%.
Wow, that sounds like really severe. So as we know that NYU Stern is launching its 2013 class orientation. So do you have any suggestions for these new MBA students as they embark on their 2 years general?
Well, as I tell all my students, you will be spending 2 years in this great institution. You'll be going into 100 grand in debt. So use this time to get some skills.
Wow, that's slightly depressing. Professor Rabini, you seem like a very optimistic and cheery guy, am I right?
I am really optimistic and cheery. Can't you tell?
Yes, I can tell you're a very, very optimistic and cheery person. Thank you, Professor Rabini, and thank you, Richard. Hopefully we'll be shifting to something a little less depressing now. We have our AccuWeather report with Caroline Beck. Caroline?
The majority of Stern's class of 2013 recently moved to the city, and this past week has been a great introduction of what it's like to live here. The week began with an unsettling earthquake, and events for this past weekend were canceled due to the impending devastation of Hurricane Irene. I think it's safe to say this is the end of the world.
I think I'm noticing a trend here. But folks, don't freak out just yet because the world is not coming to an end. The bottom of the line is we have a lot of very bright students going to NYU Stern right now, and the students of today are the leaders of tomorrow, and they've been learning a lot while they're here. So I think this would be a great time to kind of take a couple clips from what the students have been learning at NYU Stern and how we think that the world is not coming to an end, because they're bright people and they're going to help us out in the end. So flash you a couple clips, please.
I always play beer pong with my NYU Stern shirt. Stern backpack acts as a counterweight. You gotta get the mark in. Play balances, right?
I'm best at karaoke if I've had 3 or 4 beers, but otherwise I'm a total nightmare.
Best at karaoke after 10 to 12 beers, and I think at any given moment there's a happy hour anywhere on campus, so that's pretty great for me.
Well, folks, I hope you've learned a lot. I know I have. And on behalf of the Channel 511 WNYU network, we wish you a very happy future. We know that the students of today will be the leaders of tomorrow, and with everything that they're learning in the classroom, everything should be just peachy.
It's the end of the world as we know it. It's the end of the world as we know it.
Again, with the devastation of, sorry, I forgot
Wow, that was slightly depressing. Professor Rubini, you seem like that.
The most important part of beer pong is art. Really, you're on big deal. I can't do it on film.
I am really.
That these students will be tremendous leaders, and obviously they've learned a lot.
It's our